Hey guys, this is Geoff Ulrich with LineMovement.com bringing you another PGA Tour betting preview, this time for the week of the Genesis Open. Congrats to all the Daniel Berger backers from last week. Berger picking up another PGA Tour win at the Pebble Beach Open. But this week we're going to focus on the Genesis Open. It's the last stop on the West Coast before players head out east to the Florida swing. And this week in this video, we're going to be talking about things like the course. We'll preview Riviera Country Club. We'll talk about the field. It's a ton of elite players in the field this week. A really strong field, the strongest of the year. And we'll get into the betting stuff. Talk about the betting trends. And guys, I want to target in the outright and other betting markets this week. So make sure you smash that like button, sit back, and let's dive into it. Let's get into the course first. Let's talk about Riviera Country Club. This is a longer par 71, and much like Torrey Pines early in the season, this is a true championship test. Riviera plays over 7,300 yards on the scorecard. It's long, it's got a lot of long par fours, and it's got a lot of dog legs too that will force players to shape their shots both off the tee and on approach. So what do we want to target here? We tend to want to target strokes gained tee to green and things like strokes gained off the tee as well. If you look back at past winners, players who have had a lot of success here, Adam Scott, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson, these guys are mainly strokes gained tee to green beasts. They're great off the tee, they're consistent in all facets of their game, and they can handle the long and tough off the tee shots that come at Riviera. Riviera also features tough Kikuyu rough and tricky Poa greens, and these big hitters tend to have a bit of an easier time in the rough here just because they're longer down the fairway with their approaches, they're a bit stronger, able to get the ball up and hold these greens more. We've also tended to see the winners here have really high greens in regulation percentages, so you really want to target players who are going to hit you a lot of greens, they're going to be consistent tee to green from off the tee and on their approaches all week, and they're not going to get phased by some of these tough stretches on Riviera because it is a tough course. Oftentimes, we'll even see the winners here sometimes come in around single digits. Last year, Adam Scott won at just 11 under par. We could be in for another week like that, have a bit cooler temperatures. The wind is supposed to get up a little bit. So again, I think we'll see some tougher scoring. Riviera, always a great test. Let's get into the betting stuff though. Start by talking about a few betting trends, and there is definitely one I want to talk about specifically. This tournament has seen the winners here tend to be very busy on the West Coast swing. So 9 of the past 10 winners here have now either played Pebble Beach or the Waste Management Phoenix Open before winning here. The only exception last year was Adam Scott, who didn't play either one of those events. But 9 of the last 10 winners have either played Phoenix or Pebble Beach, so it's something to think about. Really want to target players who've got good West Coast form. They've been involved, they've been featuring in these events, and they're used to the conditions already. It does seem to have helped in the past to pick out past winners. So that's something to keep in mind as we're going and getting into the betting stuff. Let's touch on the elite players though, the players who are here. It's a very elite field. We have the top 4 players in the official World Golf Rankings all here. Dustin Johnson coming off a week of rest. He withdrew from Pebble Beach, but he's going to be here. He's a past winner here. He's topped 5 at this event numerous times. He loves this course. Definitely someone to think about. He's very short in the odds though, so probably not going to target him there, but don't be shocked if DJ picks up another win. We got Jon Rahm, who hasn't played since the Farmers hasn't played since the Phoenix Open. Still got a bit of a back issue, maybe still recovering. He's been okay here. He's got a T17 and a T9 at Riviera in his past. We've got Rory McIlroy back in the field. He's got a couple top 5s here, still looking for that breakthrough win. Then we got Justin Thomas, who rounding out the top 4 players in the world. He's here. He is finished runner-up at Riviera 2 years ago to JB Holmes. He did miss the cut here last year, so his course history is a bit boom or bust. Then we got Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Cantlay, and last week's winner, Daniel Berger. So we got a very elite field, a lot of big names in attendance. Let's just get right down to it. Let's get to and start talking about guys I want to be targeting in the outright bets this week. And I'm going to start by targeting a guy I just mentioned. That's Xander Schauffele. I think you should be able to get Xander Schauffele at around plus 1,400, plus 1,600 in the outright market this week. And I do not mind taking a shot at him at those odds right now. We saw him around plus 1,100 at the Phoenix Open. Those were a little bit too short for me, but The elite field has pushed his odds back up a little bit. Maybe the odds makers are starting to think Xander is never going to break through, and they're giving us a bit more better odds to take a shot here. He was really solid off the tee in Phoenix, gained over 3 strokes off the tee there. His irons let him down a little bit on Sunday, but he has gained over 3 strokes or more on approach at Riviera in each of his last 3 appearances. And he's got 3 top 25s here in 3 appearances, so he's got a very solid record at Riviera. I like taking a shot here. I think Xander is a player who can break through. He's already got 4 PGA Tour wins. It's a little bit of a mental block there, but I think he breaks through. I like an outright bet on Xander Schauffele this week. Another guy I'm going to mention. This is a player played last week, so he fits with our trends. That's going to be Jordan Spieth at plus 3,500. I like taking an each-way bet on him. He is playing better, T8 and strokes gained tee to green last week. And the nice thing about Spieth is he's contending, and his putter hasn't really heated up to the full extent that we know it can yet. His short game is working well. His irons are working well. Riviera has been a bit boomer bust for him. He's not that great off the tee, so he can get in trouble here. But he does have 3 top 15s here in 7 appearances. Was T4 here back in 2015. Put up a top 10 here a couple years ago. And he really likes the course that's coming straight from him too. So I like Jordan Spieth at these odds. Let's give him one more shot. He seems close to breaking through. Would not shock me. Plus 3,500. It's big enough for an each way for me. Now, this range is interesting because there are a couple other players I wanted to target. I was thinking about Scottie Scheffler a little bit in this range. And if you read my article later in the week on linemovement.com, should be out Tuesday, I may have a few notes in there about Scheffler. But for right now, I think I'm going to also target Hideki Matsuyama at plus 3,500 or better for an each way. Hideki just has the better course history. He's got 4 top 12s at Riviera in his last 5 appearances. Has some really, really good course history here just in terms of how he plays as well. Good on and around the greens at Riviera, which can be a bit of a sore spot for Hideki. He often struggles with the putter, but he's been pretty good at this venue. And realistically, you look at the past winners, Scott, Bubba, Dustin, Hideki kind of fits in that mold as a really strong tee to green player. It would not shock me if he did break through here. He's won at other classical venues, with a little bit of similarity to Riviera, like Memorial, like the Bridgestone. I like the setup for Hideki, and I think you're getting a fair enough price. So I'll target him. We'll target that good course history here because it has paid off in the past. Let's go down a little bit and talk about guys who are a little bit bigger in odds, though, because there are a couple players I think coming in here, and these are players who did play last week at Pebble. First, Max Homa, plus 6,000 on an each way. These are nice odds. This is a player who's trending really well here. He was top 10 last week at Pebble. He's played a lot on the West Coast already. His game is trending into shape. The tee to green game is there. He's got a lot of confidence on social media. And he was top 5 at this event last year. So it's a great momentum play, a good course history, fits our trends. And at plus 6,000, I'll take an each way for a top 5 and an outright bet on Max Homa. And then the next player I want to mention, this is a player I brought up last week, but Francesco Molinari dropped all the way down to plus 9,000 in the odds this week. I have to take a shot here. Molinari is still trending really well tee to green. He's played 3 times on the West Coast now, played last week at Pebble, which is always a good indicator, as we said in our betting trends. I know he's got the poor course history, but Molinari is a good tee to green player, and if he can figure out the greens here quickly, it would not shock me if he featured. Ultimately, this is just an odds play. I think Molinari's odds just have popped back up too much. He's playing better. Plus 9,000. Give me an each way on Francesco Molinari. A couple more guys I'll mention quickly before we get out of here. Russell Henley at top 10 at plus 600. I like. Featured well here last year. He's playing really well. I think he'll continue to feature. Maybe the course is a little bit too long for Russ to pick up a win, but a plus 600 in the top 10 market, I'll take that. And then Sam Burns, he's a really strong off-the-tee player, good young player. He's starting to feature more and more. He's played well on the West Coast. Let's take advantage. Plus 800 on the top 10. That just looked a little bit too big for me. He played well at this event last year. So Henley and Burns, 2 guys I'm targeting in the top 10 market. That's pretty much it for this week, guys. Make sure you check out my article that's going to be out on linemovement.com, the PGA betting preview for the Genesis Open. It'll have all my final thoughts out there, so make sure you check out that. Should be out on Tuesday. Make sure you check out Line Movement for all your betting needs. Smash that like button if you could on your way out. Subscribe to the Line Movement YouTube channel, and have a great PGA betting week.